Have you ever felt a connection so deep it changes your entire world? This is a story about that kind of connection, a bond forged between a woman named Sarah and a lonely African gray parrot named Apollo. Their story isn't just about a rescue. It's about two souls finding each other and proving that love, patience, and a little bit of trust can heal the deepest wounds. Apollo's world was small, confined to the four corners of a cage in a dim, forgotten room. For years, that was all he knew. The vibrant, intelligent mind of an African gray was trapped, not just by metal bars, but by loneliness. He'd pluck his own feathers, a heartbreaking sign of stress and despair. His bright eyes, once full of curiosity, had grown dull. He was a silent bird, his voice lost to the quiet solitude. He had a family, but they were busy, and over time, the novelty of a talking parrot had faded, leaving him as little more than a piece of living furniture. He was fed, he was watered, but he was profoundly alone. Then, one day Sarah walked in. She wasn't looking for a pet. A friend had simply told her about a parrot in need. The moment she saw Apollo, something shifted. She didn't just see a bird in a cage. She saw a soul crying out for help. She saw the patches of bare skin where beautiful gray feathers should have been. She saw the quiet intelligence in his eyes, buried under layers of neglect. It was a connection that defied logic. In that instant, she knew she had to help him. The first few weeks were a challenge. Sarah brought Apollo home to a world he didn't understand. The cage door was open, but he refused to leave the only home he'd known. He was terrified. Any attempt Sarah made to get close was met with a sharp hiss or a lunge of his beak. He didn't trust her. Why would he? Humans had been the source of his confinement for so long. But Sarah was patient. She didn't force it. She spent hours every day just sitting by his cage, talking to him in a soft, soothing voice. She'd read books aloud, sing gentle songs, or just tell him about her day. She wasn't asking for anything in return. She was simply offering him her presence, her calm, her unwavering kindness. "It's okay, Apollo," she'd whisper. "You're safe here. You're home now." Slowly, almost imperceptibly, things began to change. One morning, instead of hissing, Apollo tilted his head, listening. A few days later, he mimicked a soft whistle she often made. It was a tiny sound, but for Sarah, it was a thunderclap of hope. It was the first time he had communicated, the first sign that he was starting to see her not as a threat, but as a friend. The real breakthrough came a month later. Sarah was sitting on the floor reading as usual when she felt a gentle weight on her shoulder. She froze, her heart pounding. It was Apollo. It finally, on his own terms, stepped out of his cage and onto her. He nuzzled his head against her cheek, a gesture so full of trust, it brought tears to her eyes. The barrier was broken. He had chosen her. From that day forward, Apollo's transformation was nothing short of miraculous. His feathers started to grow back, covering the bare patches with a soft, downy gray. And his voice returned with a flourish. He wasn't just mimicking sounds anymore, he was talking. He learned to say good morning, sunshine, and would greet Sarah with it every day. He'd ask what you're doing. He'd even say, "I love you, Sarah," in a voice so clear and full of emotion, it would melt her heart every single time. He wasn't just a pet. He became her companion, her confidant, her little feathered shadow. He'd perch on her shoulder while she worked from home, offering quiet chirps of encouragement. They'd share breakfast, with Apollo meticulously picking at his own tiny plate of fruit. They developed their own language of clicks, whistles, and inside jokes that only they understood. Apollo wasn't just healed, he was thriving. He was happy. But the story isn't just about Apollo's transformation. It's also about Sarah's. Before Apollo, Sarah's life was quiet. She was kind and caring, but she carried a certain loneliness of her own. She had friends and family, but there was a part of her heart that felt empty. Apollo filled that space. He taught her about a different kind of love that is patient, unconditional, and built on mutual trust. He taught her the importance of consistency, of showing up every single day, even when it's hard. Taking care of him gave her a new sense of purpose. Waking up to his cheerful greetings, hearing him laugh his funny, breathy parrot laugh, feeling his warm little body on her shoulder, These simple moments brought an incredible richness and joy to her life. She rescued a bird who was locked away from the world, and in return, he opened up hers. He showed her the profound depth of an animal's capacity to love and to heal. He wasn't just a rescued bird, he was her rescuer too. He healed the parts of her she didn't even know were broken. Their home was no longer quiet. It was filled with laughter, chatter, and the beautiful, chaotic sounds of a life shared. Their journey reminds us that sometimes the most extraordinary relationships come in the most unexpected packages. It shows us that every life has value, and that a little bit of compassion can change a life forever, not just for the one being rescued, but for the rescuer as well. Apollo's cage is long gone, but the door he opened in Sarah's heart will stay open forever. Thank you so much for watching their beautiful story. If you've ever had an animal change your life, share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. We'll see you next time.